Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome back to another video for Lord of the Rings Home. I think we're just gonna call it Home from now on instead of me having to say the whole shebang. But nonetheless, today we're here to talk about Arena. Now that we've kind of gone through, quite a lot of the beginning kind of stuff that I wanted to talk about with Lord of the Rings. Also, check back on my channel. There's like a good 6 or 7 videos, for early tips. If that's still you, if you're just getting started in the game, then I recommend checking out some of these videos. Today, we're talking about Arena. We're here to talk about the Arena meta. We're here to talk about some of the teams that I've also gone up against and still won, and some that may have given me a little bit of challenge. I kind of want to talk about the different lineups. So over the last few days, I've done quite a bit of Arena footage recording when I see something compelling or something new, so that we can talk about that here in today's video and kind of go over the different teams that I've gone up against. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Now, before we get started, really quick here, this is my Arena team, and I've shown this off, I'm pretty sure, in other previous videos. This is what I call, it's the free-to-play meta, in my opinion. It is very easily accessible, especially very early on in the game, and you can start building these characters very easily. And just to start off the top, we have Ironhide Troll, that's what I'm calling him here. You can only have one large character per team, so he is my large character for that. We have the Rohirrim 3, or Rohan 3, however you want to label them, which is Eothane, Eomer, and Eowyn, and then we have Strider. These characters are very easily accessible early on in the game. You can farm Ironhide Troll in, I believe it's 1-7, Guild 1-7, and I highly recommend getting him 4-star unlocked as early as possible. This team is a very strong team, also very free-to-play friendly. Lots of AoE, especially from Ironhide Troll. You have an alt AoE from Eothane and an alt AoE as well from Strider. And then I have the leader bonus from Eowyn, and this is really important to make sure that you have. So I have to be clear about this. When you're setting your arena defense, make sure that one of your characters have the crown, because that means the leader bonus is set. I don't want to tell you how many times I've run up against teams that do not have the leader bonus set. In fact, you might be able to see it maybe in my refreshes here. Maybe not, but I have definitely seen it. Like almost every day I run into some team that does not have the crown. And so when you have the crown listed, that way you know that it's active. And if it's not, then you need to go change that, because there's quite a few people that don't. Looks like right now they all do, but I've definitely run into it. And so I want to kind of go over some of the videos that I've recorded. I know this is going to look a bit weird here. It's going to be a little bit of Inception here, at least with the frames. I should have recorded that differently. My apologies. Nonetheless, we're going to take a look at some of the videos that I've recorded over the last week here in Arena. And it's the same team. We're using the exact same team on Arena offense. So first off, we have this sort of mixed Hobbits hybrid team with Sam and Pippin and the Isengard 2, Mauher and Ugluk. One thing that I do want to say, don't use Pippin in Arena. He's super squishy. He typically does not heal right away, and it's just not all that great, in my opinion. This one didn't actually go very far. This one was pretty easy to do. The only interesting why I recorded it actually was because of Sam. So Sam puts up quite a bit of nimbles, but I didn't really find it all that difficult to overcome. Most of these videos that you'll see here are punch acrosses. In some instances, they are a punch up. But what matters the most when it comes to your teams is actually going to be the gear tier. More than the characters that you're actually using, a lot of it really comes down to gear tier. You see that I tried to ability block Pippin, but that did not land. Support characters do actually have above average resist, so that helps, I guess. And my arena goal is to get the squishy characters dead first. Because if you've seen my other videos when it comes to identifying stats for characters, I kind of know now who are the squishy characters on the team. And Hobbits definitely are. And with the exception of Sam, because I don't really care that much about him, I go for second on Strider in this instance. And normally what I would do is I would do Pippin, Strider, Mauher, if I had the chance to get Mauher down as well, because he is a bit of a glass cannon as far as hit points goes, and he's a damage character. So I go for the heavy damage characters first, typically. Otherwise, I go for the support first. So this one, as you can see, not much of a trouble. If I can finish a match with 3 or more characters alive, I consider that a pretty easy win. Sam actually has some really good stats if you watched my light character video, but he's kind of weird to include. Like, I have punched up over 3,000 on Road to Rivendell, and that's not good. I've had a harder time with, like, random orc Rohan teams and things like that than I did with this particular arrangement. So it wasn't that difficult there. One other one that I want to show you. This was an interesting one. This is what I'm going to call Arena Fro. There was this Fro, the dwarf, and Mordor engineer. I forget his name. Rockma in this now. And this one was a little bit more interesting. We have Strider, Ugluk, and Ironhide Troll. You can see that the team power was only about 10k. This one was filmed probably about 4 or 5 days ago, or maybe even a week ago even. But I just didn't have a chance to do this. Now, originally, you can see that I still had... This is before my characters were Gear 6. But this one was interesting because I'd never seen Fro on an arena team before, and that's why I wanted to record this. So the way that the sort of the turns go on this, Eowyn's like always going first, and that's why I love her, because she's fast, she gets those mites up, or the offense up really on the other characters. I really didn't know who I wanted to go for, but I think I went for Rockma. Did I go for... You should go for Rockma, because he's got double AoEs, and we'll see that pretty clearly here, why it probably was a better idea to start with damaging him. He's also very squishy, so there's the AoE bomb. It applies bleeds as well. I think I forgot what he did, and then I just started attacking Strider. I was like, huh. Maybe we should kill the orc. And, you know, so that's what I would recommend if you do run into him. He is quite squishy. But now we run into this problem where we're stuck on Fro. She has a taunt, not a provoke. So it's just a flat taunt until I either clear it or she takes her turn. And so you notice there's a lot of bombs going off. Luckily, the counterattacks killed him, but I'm stuck. I'm stuck on Fro because I have no way of clearing that. Because of the way the turn orders go, Ironhide Troll actually goes first before Fro, so I'm not able to clear the taunt, which gets really irritating. I think I still won this, or did I? Was this the one I lost? I did lose like one of these, and this was just a little bit unfortunate because I kind of was thrown off. We'll see. How did this end? We're gonna fast forward this a little bit. I did lose. I think I lost. Yeah, this was like the one time that I lost. And this was really interesting because of that combination. It was a bit of a punch across as well. I just wasn't prepared for this fight. Interesting nonetheless. I do encourage, you know, these kind of like weird things, but there's just not a lot of resources to go around to kind of experiment on things. But, you know, if you want to do that, then that's good too. This next one here is going to be Bolg and Trolls. That's what I'm going to call it. There is Halbarad, and also I want to pause really quick. Halbarad, Nuraz, Tordak, Bolg, and the other troll, which I forget his name. So this is definitely not a free-to-play team. This is definitely a spender team, and this was, I think, a punch across-ish. It might have been a slightly up, but I want to kind of show you guys how this went down as well. I'm gonna forward through the loading. So we start with Eowyn again, and then my plan was to just go for Bolg. You know, try to get Bolg down as much as I could. But then Nuraz does actually apply a provoke to the trolls. And so I just, whenever I can, you go into Bolg and get him down, because he does a lot of damage if you leave him up. And so I just tried to, you know, beeline him down. He's not super, he's not super squishy, but he is kind of squishy. So I decided to just do the best I can. We're stuck on Halbarad here a little bit. Not much I can do about that. You know, Halbarad is one of those taunt characters, not a provoke, so you are forced into him until he takes his next turn. So after that dropped, back to Bolg, and I can't because then the troll's there, right? But that's a provoke, not a taunt on the troll. Luckily, I love my Ironhide Troll because his AoE damage is just so big, and you can just see, also Nuraz, super squishy. Super squishy character. I mentioned this in my video, my Shadows video. His health and armor stats are very low. He did get the troll summon off, but you see that it came kind of late. Like, you could kill Nuraz early on if I had focused him over Bolg. Then I probably would have, you know, killed him before the summon popped off. But the summon actually didn't end up making a huge difference in the end, and while he does have a fair bit of hit points, because you can notice it in the bars there, and he does have some good attacks, like he's quite strong, it's just Nuraz, in my opinion, as a character standalone in Arena, I don't know, there's just something about it that I don't really like, and so overall, we did manage to win this one. We just cleaned up after a while. It was close, but, you know, I don't know if I personally recommend this team. And part of the point of this video is just to showcase that the free-to-play arena meta that I'm using right now is more than capable of dealing with a lot of these different combination of teams. The one that I do want to show, this one's interesting as well. This one's the Ranger team, and this one, it was... let's go back. So Elro here, Halbarad, Strider, Lomian, I think. I don't remember the name of that character. And Pippin. Once again, don't use Pippin on arena defense. I don't think it's very good, in my opinion. So we start off, again, with Eowyn. And then here, you know, if I see Pippin, I would normally go for him first, just because I don't want to have to deal with him later on. And so that's usually what I do. I focus support characters first. Halbarad's a weird mix of, like, a healer tank, so I don't normally beeline for him first because he's got a ton of hit points, and therefore it's going to take me a little bit of time to get him down. So I would go for other characters first, namely Pippin. Elro here, I'm pretty sure, is the second character that I go for because, again, he's a little bit of a glass cannon, and I want to make sure that he goes down. What's interesting about Elro here's kit is that, of course, that if you're taunting, that he actually will retaliate. I don't know if we get to see that here or not, if Halbarad gets his taunt off. But yeah, Elro here, I think we do. And so you might notice this during the gameplay here. Here maybe? Yeah, Elro here shoots back for like about 700 damage per hit, which is not bad. It doesn't seem to work on AoEs, but it does work on single target attacks, and so that damage will really add up, and I'm really curious how this is going to work when it comes to the Rivendell team. Some of you guys might have seen the announcements of Elrond being the first legendary character to come to the game. I didn't make a specific video on this, but yeah, because there's lots of other people talking about it right now. We don't have a ton of details other than the fact that it is confirmed that Elrond is the first legendary to come to the game. And so that's going to be the Rivendell elf team. Possibly Strider might be on that team as well because of the synergy with Arwen, who we hopefully will get alongside Eladin, I believe, which is Elrohir's brother. So that's the Arena Rangers. Again, didn't really have that hard of a time, and I have like 3 characters left, which means that I did this pretty well. Next one, we have the Arena Mordor team. This one was quite interesting. It was like Arena Mordor with Wubei. Wubei has a pretty nasty AoE slow ult as well. A lot of AoE here. We have Rakma, we have Wubei, we have Ironhide Troll. With the exception of Wubei, all 4 of the other ones are Mordor and Shagrid as well. But this guy, I forget his name, Taskmaster in the pre-release, he's not very good. Again, he's probably worse than Pippin, frankly, and he does give a haste buff, but yeah, this didn't last very long. We killed this pretty easily. And this happened after the other match, so definitely focused on Rakma after I learned my lesson on the bombs. And he doesn't really, there's no tanks here other than Wubei, and he doesn't start with his taunt. So Wubei starts with his alt AoE, which is fine, but it just makes it very easy for me to single target characters down. Again, using this exact same arena offense team that I've been using for some time here, and yeah, I mean, it's not that hard for me to just target characters down. Now you notice that after the AoE, I do, you know, I'm kind of wounded a little bit here. I did put that ability block on to Ironhide Troll so that he can't do his other AoE, and so I just try to delay that. Yeah, then we get stuck behind Wubei a little bit here, and I'm pretty sure I still win this. I guess my overall damage was a little bit higher. Now you notice that I don't really run a healer on my arena team, and that's because I use a lot of AoE damage, and so that overall damage that I'm delivering to the enemy usually overcomes you don't really need to have a healer, at least right now anyways, you know, where the gear tier makes a huge difference on your damage. Sometimes it can get pretty close, but I honestly think that you don't really need a healer or a support character for your arena team, at least at this point in the game. Because what really matters is character level, gear tier, and that's going to overcome a lot of things. And the people who are at the top of the arena meta in the ladder are probably going to be people who have just a really high team power, and that's just how it is. So we ended up clearing this with 4 characters alive. Some of them were a little bit wounded, though, but we still made it through. Anyways, and the last one that I want to talk about is the full Rohan team. Now, actually a full Rohan team. This was 10.9k at the time. This is when I got knocked back to gold 2 a little bit. It includes Ildred as well. I'm actually punching up about 500 to 600 power, so not a lot, but it's a punch up nonetheless. And I kind of want to just show this one for my last video clip here in the arena. Just, you know, all the different times that, you know, we've fought different teams. And so, yeah, what I don't like about this one, though, of course, is it's a coin flip between my Eowyn and their Eowyn. And you actually, unless they ability block your Eowyn, it actually is really easy because you can cleanse. The alt cleanses, right? So if you go first, you want to ability block their AON so they can't use the alt and cleanse. That's basically how it goes when you fight two teams and both of you have AON. And so that's what I do. I focus down AON. There is the Aothane Taunt, of course, which we have to go through. But then after that, I'm just going to go back. And actually, sometimes what can work is, I didn't clear it that time, but sometimes Ironhide Troll can just clear that, and so it doesn't make as big of a difference. We did that. Now you'll see this. Actually, their Aowen went first, I'm pretty sure, in that instance. But Aowen's dead now, and that's not a big of a deal. And then Aeldred. I think I went for Aeldred. He's a support character, right? Always go for the support character just in case, you know. And I wasn't too sure between him and Wilfin. Wilfin? The Axe character, like, I really have no experience battling her or using her, so I didn't really know what kind of impact that she had. But nonetheless, I have so much AoE damage that you can just see that things are just getting cleared out. So at this point, I just focus down the people that are almost dead, and I have all 5 of my characters pretty much. I think I end the match. If not, I'm pretty healthy with most of my characters, and this one was not that difficult. So for those of you who are thinking of using a Rohirrim arena defense, for sure, I don't think it's a good idea. And so what did we learn by the end of this entire video is actually just how good this team that I'm using is and how free-to-play friendly it is. I knocked away, you know, plenty of paid teams where characters that you could only get from spending to get them, because some of the unlocks for these characters are quite far into the campaign, but I was able to beat them nonetheless, which is great. So if you want to use this team, I'm having great success with it. I'm at I forget what my team power is now, but nonetheless, I'm kind of between that gold 1 mithril 2 line. I'm at 11.6k, and I'm still able to hold myself in there, even though I'm not really spending on a lot of these high tier characters. The only spending that I've ever done was on a crystal pack, and that's it. And of course, I got a little bit of a head start because I did start early, but so did a lot of these other people that I'm facing in the arena as well. But I'm really happy that I've been able to keep up in the arena anyway. So let me know in the comments down below what you're using in the arena. What's worked for you? Have you come up with any crazy strategies or crazy team comps that I just haven't seen or haven't even talked about? I'd love to know that more in the comments down below, or reach out to me via Discord. And if you have anything crazy to share with me, then please do. That's going to be the end of this video, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.